Hey everyone, welcome to yet another Arty Wednesday. I'm Mel. Today we're going to do something really cool. Let's begin.
Today, I'm going to show you how we can project our art on a wall. This is what you'll need to create your masterpiece.
So I've laid out everything we need, and as you can see, I have paper cups. So I'm going to first cut a hole into the paper cup, and for that you can use scissors or you can use a cutter. Now I want to say be very careful when you're using scissors or the cutter. Ask an adult for help if you're not familiar with how to use them. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Make sure your younger siblings are not around and keep this away after you're done using it, okay? Don't leave it lying around because we don't want anyone to get hurt, right? So I've opened out my cutter and also take a lot of care of yourself. Poke a hole in it and then you cut around like that. So usually it cuts out very easily. Just be really careful. There we go. Let's cut it out. Place my cutter on the side. And you want to press down all the spots that's sticking out a little bit. Just press it down so it looks a bit neat. Now I'm going to take large tape like this. I'm going to open it out. And I'm trying to open it out in one swift motion, so you get fewer lines. Otherwise, if it jerks, you get you get a couple of lines which you don't need. You want your tape to be as clear as possible. And you grab your scissors and cut. And what you do is, for the edges, make sure you sort of stick it, gather it up so this part is quite straight and you get like a very firm surface. Then you pick up your marker. This is a permanent marker. This is what I'm going to be using first. So now I'm thinking I'll draw a flower. So for that, I make a circle. And then I draw my petals. There we go. You see what I mean? If I've not firmly stuck it, then it tends to sort of sink in. Now, what color should I color this? Maybe a purple flower? Color my petals purple. Really easy. Oopsie. And I want to color the center red. My younger daughter loves blue. There we go. Can you see how it looks? I hope it's clear. There's too much of light there. Can you see? So I've drawn my flower, and when I project it, I get the flower on the wall. In the same way, let's now do something else, okay? The same thing again. Get my cutter. Round the cup. Press this down. I'm thinking I'll show you how I do the stars and the moon. So I'm going to do the moon first. So you grab your tape again and you around a piece just like the last time. Cut off the extra. Again, the ends, you want them firmly down so that you can easily draw on your cup. So I'm going to use this entire circle as my moon, okay? And you'll see what I mean. Now, have you guys ever noticed that it's like a dark shadow on the moon? And if you look closer, it looks like a bunny rabbit. So we're going to try and do that just like make it look sort of like a bunny rabbit, the darkness on the moon. And I don't know how I'm going to get that, but I'm going to try, okay? Where mine looks nothing like a bunny rabbit, but at least you know what I was trying to do. Okay, and you make like little dots on it, and it really, when you project it, it tends to look like the actual shadow of the moon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingers, get it a little dirty, and just kind of spread it out. That really helps. Just make it look a little more like the bunny rabbit. I think that's not bad. See? Look at that. That's not bad at all. So that's my moon. And now we're going to make some stars. For the stars, I'm going to take actually any paper, but kind of paper that will block light, and this is a slightly thick paper. And I have a star cutter, and I'm going to cut some stars into the paper, and I'm also going to poke some holes with a safety pin and a little stick toothpick that I have. So here's how I'm going to do it, okay? I grab my cutter first, and I'm just going to fold it a little so I get stars. The thing with these cutters are it only cuts so close to the line, so you don't always get it to be in the place that you want. Like, you cannot make a star in the middle of this paper. It's not going to work out. But these cutters are really hard, so I'm going to use some force. Look at that. Managed to get my first star. I don't know if you can see this, but maybe I'll do one or two more. I want to do one, but let's see how this goes. Again, I fold it, put in my cutter. Okay, so I got a few large stars, and if you've noticed, the sky is full of stars, but it has small stars, big stars, medium-sized stars. So for the next couple of stars, I'm going to use a safety pin. Please be careful of yourself when you're using cutters and safety pins and things like that. Maybe do this art under adult supervision or something, so you're not hurting yourself. When you are poking a hole in the paper, make sure your fingers not on the other side of the paper, because that would mean you're poking your finger, and I don't want any of you to get hurt. I would be really upset. So you know what you can do is keep your paper on the ground to be more careful. Hold your safety pin on it and then lift your paper up. So that way you're not putting your finger too close to the hole. So initially with the safety pin, what we're doing is we're going to only poke tiny holes all around. But I do want to make these holes slightly bigger. I need them to be bigger actually in order for it to look a little better when it's being projected. See that? It's going to look very pretty. You don't have to go as fast as me. Please take your time when you're doing this. We're not in any sort of hurry to get our artwork done quickly. Safety is most important. Speed is not important. Now I want to make some of these holes slightly larger. So I'm going to poke. Like I said, every star is a different size. They're not all the same size. Just like people, right? We're all so different. We're all so same actually, and yet we're so different. So I think that looks pretty, what I've done. I want to make, if you want to make a few even larger, then you first poke in the toothpick to make the hole slightly larger, and then you use a larger maybe chopstick or something. This is an old chopstick I use for artwork. It's never actually been used as a chopstick. I don't think I can eat with chopsticks either. Oopsie. I can if I go really slowly. But yeah, and maybe I'll do one more big one here just to show you again how I did that. Make the hole slightly larger with the toothpick first, and then try and poke the chopstick into the same hole. So can you see? We've got like holes of different sizes. That's going to look pretty cool on our next cup. So again, grab your cup. Grab your cutter, open out your cutter. Every time you finish using your cutter, shut it, close it up so no one gets hurt. Okay, and cutters have this sort of lock on it. You can open it up and then the blade doesn't move. So you can close it and then lock it up, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's do the cutting. Try and be as neat as you can, as close to the edge as possible. There. So push that up to unlock it, push it down, and then you can perhaps keep it open. And if you have a little sibling at home, they won't be able to open this if they don't know about this lock button. Straighten out the edges. Now I'm going to place this cup over this like so. I'm going to draw around it, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that. This paper is quite thick actually. So I get my circle. This paper is quite thick, so it's going to be very difficult to cover this part. It's not going to cover that easily as I covered it with the tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around this. Okay, now don't cut exactly on this line or it might end up too tiny. Leave maybe, see like a little gap. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you're getting this. Yeah. Leave a little gap and cut around it. Okay. And for the sticking, I'm going to show you that not necessary. And if it's little larger, if it's crooked and all, it doesn't really matter, okay? But just make sure it's slightly larger and not exactly the same size. There we go. Grab my cup. I'm going to place this on top of this. Like this. You see, even if it was slightly larger, it would be great. But it's fine, you know, even if it's this much. So what I did is I placed it on top of my cup like that. Just like the last time. Grab my tape and stick it. See that? In the same way, instead of doing the flowers like I did by coloring it, you can also cut out flowers and then you can project flowers on your wall. But the only thing is with that, you will have a black and white projector. But with coloring with these marker pens, what happens is my projection also looks colorful. So that's a star one. Let's do one more. How about we draw something else? I'm just going to make like a random design, okay? Again, cutter, lock, cut. Watch your fingers. Ask for help. Straight out the edges. And I'm going to use this size tape. Can you see it's a little thinner than the one we use, and I'll show you why. Because I'm not making one full design. I'm going to try something else. So I'm going to take one line first. I'm going to stick it here. Okay. And then maybe I'm going to take a tape which is even thinner. I'm going to stick that. Here. And then again, I'm going to take the very thin tape. I'm going to stick it here. Okay, so I sort of get gaps, these lines in the middle. Can you see? And now I can make a very cool design. So I'm going to grab this permanent marker pen, and in my first design, what can I draw? I'm going to draw clouds. Yes, it's nice. And maybe in the next one, I'll draw like just lines. You can literally do any sort of design. If you're very good, now I'm very average at drawing, but if you're very good, you can make, I don't know, some kind of Indian design, fancy design. So be completely free in your drawing. And maybe here I'll just do something like that. And I can say that this is This is the sky, these are the clouds, these are the rays of sunlight, and this is the ocean. I don't know. I just did something silly. It doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you have fun with it. So let's do different colors. Maybe I'll draw these cloudy looking things orange. Oh, who knows? Go multicolor. Don't go orange. Okay. And maybe I'll use purple here on every alternate line. I just realized that my blue one isn't working. I think I'm all out of ink. And in the last one, maybe I'll do green and red. So the top part I'll do green. And the bottom red. If you want, you can even draw a big red heart. So I'm going to show you some other cool designs you can do, okay? Let's see this first. There we go. So this is what's going to get projected on the wall. So moving on now to the fun part. Let's see how they look on the wall.
You could also try drawing the sun with a smiley face or a heart like this. Be creative. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you liked our video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.